I want to thank you for bringing back our national anthem, the one that we grew up with.
I don't know how this national anthem even affect the well-being of the common man in Nigeria. Let's be realistic. How this one will support the government to stop either hunger, banditry, or improve insecurity.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Plan B TV News. For those of you that were saying, oh, wait till Tinubu complete 1 year before you can say anything. Tinubu is 1 year and some days in office. And 1 year inauguration, I've been 1 year celebration on 1 year anniversary that he did. 1 year in office with zero achievements. The only thing that they will brag of after 1 year, we changed the national anthem. We changed the national anthem. When I listen to the national anthem, oh God, I want us to watch this Senate video and we'll be right back.
I don't know how this national anthem even affect the well-being of the common man in Nigeria. Let's be realistic. How this one will support the government to stop either hunger, banditry, or improve insecurity. To us, let's do what is beneficial to the common man, and this honorable chamber is the only, for now, standing on a formidable force, a point for the common man of Nigeria. So Nigerians are looking up to us. I concur with the minority leader. Let's look up something that will bring a development in the eyes of the international community to Nigeria. People are discussing nanotechnology, Internet of Things. We are still discussing national anthem. There was a saying that says countries that relies on prayers and other things will always depend on the countries that do think. Please, let's think something that will bring progress, prosperity, stability to the economy of this nation and to improve the lives of common man in Nigeria.
Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Okay, let's hear from Honorable Jack.
This senator makes a lot of points. Nigeria should not be talking about national anthem, changing national anthem as a big achievement after 1 year in office to prove point that, oh, we are working. 1 year in office. The only thing you could portray to the entire Nigeria is that you change national anthem. And the national anthem, the worst part of the national anthem is that it's a music. When you try to recite the national anthem, it's not making sense in the ear. Nigeria, we hate thee, and every mother's land. 1 year in office. Anyway, I want you guys to watch this particular video of Arise TV News. We will be right back to do some messages into it.
We at Arise News, and we pulled up, Tinubu's economic indices in the past year. And if we can pull that up, let's compare what happened before President assumed office. Petrol price then was 238 naira per liter. Now it's 701 naira per liter. Diesel then was 844 naira per liter. Now it's 1,415 naira per liter, and that is a 67.6% increase. While food inflation rate then was 24.82%. Now it's at 40.54%. That is a 37.52% increase. Inflation rates then was 22.41%. Now it's at 33.69%, and that is a 31.15% increase. In foreign reserves, then it was $35 billion. Then, now it's at $32 billion. Exchange rate then was at $1 to 461 naira. Now it's at $1 to 1,479. What's that exchange rate? And that is a 220% increase. I mean,
sad reality.
Very sad reality. Let me just take the final one, which is the public debt. Then it was 87.38 trillion. Now it's at 97.34 trillion. And that is 11.4% increase. And then oil production. Then it was 1.18 per barrel, and now it is 1.28 million per barrel. And that is an 8.47% increase. I mean, Dr. Abati, we can go on and on with all of this. Finally, there's also the interest rate, which was then at 18%. now is at 26.25%. GDP growth then was 2.51%, now is at 2.98%. Before I take Atiku's other tweet, I'd love your comment, and then Ayo's comment.
It's as follows. Number one, statistics tell only part of the story. Statistics do not tell the full story. In a country where statistics are at best estimates, in a country where data is an issue. But I say it tells part of the story. But the real story is told in terms of the impact of the administration on individual lives. This morning, I've had cause to quote the African Polling Institute survey curated by Professor Bell Iwa, an economist, who says, or the report says, that hunger, poverty, dissatisfaction, will seem to define the harsh realities that Nigerians have had to deal with in the last 1 year. And basic questions were asked, in that survey. How do you rate Tinubu's job performance? How do you rate the performance of the Senate under Akpabio? How do you rate the performance of the House of Representatives under Speaker Abbas? I think that's his name. How do you rate the performance of the judiciary? What are the challenges that you have faced personally as a Nigerian? I'm sure if we all ask those basic questions, we will be able to respond, and we'll probably also express our dissatisfaction. That's at the personal level. This morning, we had Professor Bongo Adi on this program, a professor of economics, who says his dependents are putting him under so much pressure. He's in fact considering running away from Nigeria because he's considering whether he took a bad decision, deciding to stay back in Nigeria or to return to Nigeria. And then you have, now let me go to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Well, you may well say, what do you expect the person who came second in the 2023 general election to say, and who is a prominent leader of the opposition? Of course, you don't expect him to commend the Tinubu administration. You can only, say, however, that what Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar is saying would seem to reflect the feelings of the people who took part in the survey that I quoted, of the professor who was here, of the pastor that decided to leave Nigeria and relocate abroad, and similar other people who in the last 1 year have had to migrate away from Nigeria when they could not get the hope. However, to balance it out, Felix Morka, spokesperson of the APC, has responded to Atiku Abubakar. He says that Waziri Adamawa is befogged with envy, and for him to say that Tinubu's government is doing trial and error, that he is wrong and all of that. However, the true assessment would lie with the Nigerian people. How have you fared under Tinubu in the last 1 year? Is your life better 1 year ago or worse off today? Now, to take the other story about Mr. Ononuga and Ajuri Ngelale. Well, you asked me in my time. No, in my time, it could not have happened. Yes. Because I was special advisor, and I had the full permission and authority of the President Jonathan, as the leader of the team. A special advisor leads the team or led the team in our time. Every other person working within that media and communication space, senior special advisor, assistant, there are special assistants. In my office alone, I had 3 special assistants, working with me. So you don't issue a statement without clearing with me. Even the party could not issue a statement without clearing with me, because they know I'm the last bus stop to the president. And the president will say, don't go and issue a statement that I did not authorize. So they knew that you had to clear with my office. But the problem we have, let's jump so that people don't accuse me of masturbating. Let's jump to the present. Mr. Ononuga bears the title of Special Advisor, Information and Strategy. Ajuri Ngelale bears the title Special Advisor, Media and Publicity. Now, 2 persons doing exactly the same job. So that is the source of the confusion. If you had somebody who is the leader of the team, then the next person, who is in a junior position, will know that he cannot just go ahead, to just go and speak. Except you are an attack dog, you've been given an attack dog rule, then you are not doing formal, presidential communication. You are just there to respond to, Bole Kaja politics. But in this case, you are given two people the same professional job. That is bound to create conflict. That is bound to create confusion. And you see in Ajuri Ngelale's statement, he said, what Mr. Onanuga said was false and unauthorized. So it was rubbing it in to say, look, I have the job function. But Mr. Onanuga also, by issuing the statement, was saying that he has the job function. And what he has said, what Mr. Onanuga said, is exactly the same thing that the clerk of the National Assembly said. There was no difference between the statement put out by the clerk of the National Assembly, Tambawal, and Mr. Onanuga. And the clerk of the House was saying, of the National Assembly, was saying that the House should reconvene. All members are expected to be seated by 9 a.m. What do we know? Are they seated now? Ojinika, you quoted 11 a.m. when the president will address the National Assembly. So by 11 a.m., we will know who is telling the truth, who is lying. But however, the confusion could have been avoided in terms of if the president had paid more attention to nomenclature rather than duplicating the same position, and also if there had been a proper delineation of role. Each person could have been told, this is your job. You are the official spokesman. You do attack job work and just stay with attack job. You are the leader of the team. But once you have this confusion, that's the problem. Maybe this is part of the learning process for President Tinubu himself, for all the people who are in Abuja now. They don't teach how to run government or how to run the presidency. It's when you get there, that you begin to learn and you make amends ahead the way. But if there was good relationship, personal relationship, all of this will not be an issue.
For those of you that love President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I know he has a lot of supporters that are benefiting from his government, not them directly, maybe their parents are benefiting from this government. I want you guys to tell me in the comment section, for the past 1 year now, or for the past 12 months now, or for the past, I think, 48 weeks now, or 366 days now, please tell us what this government have achieved that is beneficiary to the entire or common Nigerian. Please just comment it in the comment section. Now, just simple question I ask. See, anyway, I want you guys to watch this particular video. We'll be right back to do some messages to it.
I want to thank you for bringing back our national anthem, the one that we grew up with. I'm talking about those of us who are above 50. And for the young ones, I'm sure by the time you sit down, read it line by line, word by word, you will see why it is very, very important for Nigeria to revisit its former national anthem. Because it inspires hope. It inspires hope.
Yeah, you see, the new old national anthem was the anthem that those of us that are over 50 that we sang in our primary school days. And it was such a good experience, and we are nostalgic about it. And I believe most members of National Assemblies are over 50. But the problem we have now is that we should ask ourselves sincerely as a country, with all the problems that we have, economy, security, is national anthem our problem? Is it the issue? That's a question we need to ask ourselves. Now, when you go through the whole process of lawmaking, the National Assembly has not gone through the proper procedure of public hearing and public consultation before this amendment or this return of the old national anthem. So as for me, I see this national anthem as a National Assembly anthem because they have not consulted with Nigerians. Whatever law you're going to make, there should be a public hearing. Even if we have to change our national anthem, is it to go back to the colonial national anthem, or is it to move forward? I would have expected the president or the National Assembly to open entries for Nigerians and say, we are changing the national anthem, so there should be submission of entries by all Nigerians on what kind of anthem should we use. Young people in their teens and early 20s can come with brilliant idea, which they will say, this is what it is. You sift through, and then now you select from them, and then you say, this is the one which we feel that will energize and spark the spirit of patriotism more than the one we are having in place. And then from there, now this national anthem will have an identity. It's either Diola from Lagos that have sang it, or Abdul Qadir from Sokoto, or Effort from Akwa Ibom. Then we say, now this is the person who has crafted this anthem, and now he become another symbol. Now you sit down, and then you now thought of, what do we need to do? Something needs to be done. And then first reading, second reading, third reading, the law has been passed, the president has signed it. What kind of country are we living in? So to me, I believe that if you look at the priorities of this country, just 3 days ago, 160 people in Niger State were kidnapped and are still in the hands of terrorists. A week ago, 50 farmers were slaughtered. And then 2 weeks ago, 30 farmers were slaughtered in Zamfara and Kaduna State. And then we are ending the month with a national anthem, for which from the first reading to the signing by Mr. President, all happened within a jiffy. So I will now say that if we look at the priorities, my expectation with the president, one that has been in trenches, one that has been a pro-democracy campaigner, because we can attribute, the Honorable has said it, appreciating those who fought and struggled for democracy. I appreciate that June 12th is our Democracy Day, because many of us went to jail for it. Many of us fought for that. And we see that as our own symbol. But part of the promise and the pledge of June 12 is to restructure the country. And restructuring has been in the front burner of national discourse and conversation. And the expectation is that the president who has been in the trenches in the struggle for democracy, by this time, there should be a template. This is how the nation can be restructured. We have a document of restructuring that has been there, and even if you are talking of 2014 National Reform Conference, there are tons of recommendations. So why only pick one? So as far as I am concerned, I believe this is a misplaced priority.
Now, the worst part of it is that people are hailing him. Jagaban, Jagaban. Even him himself, he said, shh, don't let people know. I never achieve anything. Because when this man was campaigning, he said, I want to transform Nigeria. Give me Nigeria. I will transform it the way I transform Lagos. People were telling him, Nigeria not be Lagos. So Lagos is just a state. Oh, it is Yoruba people turn. It is Jagaban turn. It is me, Elimilo come. 1 year with zero achievements. How much should you be that? How many times have I told you, APC did not mean well for any of you? APC, the money with this man take campaign, within the space of 1 year, he achieved it all extra and extra and extra. After this news, we will talk about how he collected 90 billion to favor only the northern edge. That will be a separate video. 1 year in office, he can't even tell you what he did. Within the space of 1 year, fuel price of 200 naira becomes 600 to 1,000. Smith price of 4,000 naira becomes 8,500 to 10,000. Bag of rice price from 38,000 to 80,000. Electricity tariff from 1,500 to 5,000. food scarcity, insecurity, economical dichotomy, and nothing is working except then contemplating on how to change the national anthem. And some gullible Nigerians say, oh, now the question now is that what can 1,000 naira in Nigeria buy for you presently? 1 year don't go now, remaining 3 years. Can it perform miracle with these 3 years? It's a simple question. Me, I want to know. Can this president perform this miracle within 3 years? 1 year with excuse is gone. Another year just begin now. Either you like it or not, days don't come out for this year. Once 2 years don't come out, 3 years don't come out now, it's no longer about him working now. It's about campaign. Vote for me again. How he's going to put things in order to make sure say he win again. Even if he's just there, he don't want to work, he just want to be president. Like all these French country presidents, where president today wish it's just the wickedness of an African man. They love power, they want to seize this power, they want this power, but they will not use it to favor anybody. The president, within the space of 1 year, will just disappear. Boom, nobody will see him. You go come out after 2 weeks, will tell you where you go, will tell you where you for the come, you will just disappear. Go lie down for abroad for hospital, they fix drill the blood, put another blood. All of them say, why they shake during election, not they shake again.
Well, I think the statement of the Senate president says more about him than the rest of us. That we have to be very careful of how we speak with people in the institution. By defining that as a very important achievement or step is a shallow statement to make. And it does not show connection with reality. So I suspect the Senate president is living in a world that is very disconnected with the world in which millions of Nigerians are living. We need to guide our utterances, and I think of all people, the Senate president is somebody that needs to be taken to a classroom to be shown what he needs to say and not to say anymore. He has this habit of saying the rather wrong things, and it's unfortunate because he seems a jolly good fellow. Maybe he's too much of a jolly good fellow for that position. He needs to sharpen himself. The change of the national anthem came as a surprise. We didn't see that coming. The swiftness with which it was adopted and executed is a new set, is a new standard that we need to aspire to for when we want to deal with pressing issues in the country. I think we need to look at it that way. I mean, it's difficult to understand, the profound reason that led to that change. There's some things that is missing on those who purported that change. And it's also an index of the disconnect between Nigerians, because at the moment on the streets of Nigeria, when you say Nigeria, we hail thee, it's a joke. You say it when things are tough or when the Nigerian system has done something wrong to you. But, those are things of aesthetics and sentiments. I am not one that is very moved by those symbolic things. I see the importance of them as a student of aesthetics. I can see the consequence of aesthetics and ethics and pathos and ethos in a society. There's a mix of all these things, which I understand very well. But I think Nigerians at the moment are more interested in their jobs, the price of food, and other things that will affect them. But that said, we should appreciate 25 years of democracy. I do not think the president has done us very well by his own gift for these 25 years of democracy being this, because there's some contradictions in it. We've abandoned an anthem written by Nigerians for an anthem written by foreigners, which was adopted. The one written by Nigerians was adopted, about a decade after we got independence. Let's say 18 years. 78, it was adopted, and we've gone back to one that was written by, by foreigners to us. In the language of today, people don't use tribe anymore. They use ethnicity and nationalism. So there's something about it that is not, I wouldn't say modern, because the whole of Nigerian history is a modern history. It's not contemporary. It doesn't speak the language of the day. But then again, I'm somebody who would like church services to be done the good old Orthodox way, rather than tell your neighbor to look at your neighbor or that things I don't buy into. I still like the classical way of doing things. So it puts somebody like me in an embarrassing position. But I don't think it will matter very much. People will learn it. It's just a shame that just while some people were warming up to the new one, trying to learn it, I mean, older people, then you want them to change it. And this new one does not. The ones who grew up with a right comparators, we start to change the item again. Then we have to tell everybody when we go to the World Cup and other African events, or when we go to international events, that we've changed our anthem. I predict that in one of these events, somebody's going to play their right compatriots instead of Nigeria with Hildy, and they need to learn that. But, you know, these things, the whole point is that it's not as important as we're making it, and I suspect the timing. I'm not impressed by it.
Well, 1 year of Tinubu administration. What has he done right? What has he not done right?
Yes, 1 year. I noticed you used the neutral term 1 year. You didn't say celebrate, because I think it's families and friends of those who are elected that should be celebrating. It's a year to mark and to reflect of stewardship of an administration that has 4 quarters and has spent its first quarter so far. You see, unfortunately for politicians, you judge an administration by expectations and reality. The expectations for those who supported were very high, and I think reality is matching it. Those in government say this is a time to sow the seed, and hopefully we shall soon get the fruit. But I think, honestly speaking, and speaking for most Nigerians, which is what we're here to do, we should notice that at the moment the situation in the country is like when you're hungry at home or at a restaurant and people tell you, we're working very hard in the kitchen to get the food ready, but you are hungry and the food is not here yet. I think the message to the president and the presidency is that the fruits of their labor are not showing yet. And perhaps they need to find a way to work faster and smarter to make sure we get the benefit of that fruit. Because at the moment, what people remember this administration for in the first 1 year is subsidy is gone and the price of subsidy went up. The price of food and other items went up, and the tariff for energy has gone up as well. I think at some point, the government is hoping that all these things will lead to somewhere better. So far, we're not somewhere better yet.
Anyway, this is where we're going to be ending the video. Please comment your thoughts in the comment section. What do you guys think? Please comment it. What do you think about his achievement? For those of you that is the supporters, please comment your thoughts. What do you think he have achieved? Not that what you know. What do you think he have achieved? For those of you that don't want this man, please tell us that, okay, what you think that this man can do to make Nigeria a better place. For me, I don't know. Now only Jackpot might be the only thing when it just in my head. Come on for Nigeria. Come on for Nigeria. Come on for Nigeria. Come on for Nigeria. Anyway, I love you guys. Remember, God love you more. If you love us, the only way you can show your love to us is to subscribe to this video, turn on your notification bell, share this video to all your platforms, and comment your thoughts. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It helps the content to grow. All right, we love you. Until we meet again in our next video. Peace out.
It's clear that some actions have been taken, but those actions have not yielded the desired results that Nigerians expect. Inflation is still on a high increase. Purchasing power is still very low. People are still encountering a lot of economic hardship. And so, yes, while some of these actions are taken may have long-term effect, but in the short term, Nigerians are still suffering.